because we have this thing now on the horizon called the coronavirus. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Ebola to me, but it's apparently got everyone upset. And I believe with us on the phone from WCBS Newsradio 880 is Mr. Peter Haskell. Hello, Peter. Are you there?
I am indeed.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing today?
Pretty good. So you're now the coronavirus guy, huh?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah, right. But you. So what's really going on with this? Are we looking at something that's Ebola-like, or are we looking at the common cold that's been blown up into a major snowstorm that doesn't exist?
Good question. The way the officials describe it is that we are on the cusp of seeing the first infection in New York, which we have not seen yet. And, the experts say, don't go crazy, don't make yourself crazy. The people who oftentimes are most affected by these illnesses are people with pre-existing medical conditions. So you've heard it a million times, cover your cough or your sneeze, wash your hands and things like that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem, from what we've heard, that this is going to be the kind of thing that takes your breath away, literally and figuratively.
Right. Yeah. So is this, is there any reason to, it just seems that it's on everybody's, tongue. Everybody's talking about, oh my God. And the stores do reflect that. The milk is dwindling and the bread is dwindling. People actually feel threatened.
Well, the fact is, you talk about why this is getting so much attention, and the fact is the numbers are growing. And not only are the number of cases growing internationally, the number of countries where they're finding patients is also growing. And that's why you have the governor of New York and the mayor of New York saying, eventually we're going to see it here. Mm-hmm. New York, obviously the city and the New York area, there are a lot of people who travel internationally.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And because of that, somebody comes into JFK, they go home to Long Island, they were in Asia, they were in Italy.
Yeah.
You have the potential for trouble. So because the numbers are growing and there's a lot of uncertainty about how it's being spread, you get this concern. And clearly, you'd rather be aware of it and prepare for it than be taken by surprise.
Yeah. Oh, that certainly makes sense. I don't want to ask you a loaded question. I was watching the news the other day, and when the administration put Mike Pence in charge, I'm glad there are people like you that I can call and tell me what's actually going on. Now, one of the parts of this story was there was some kind of a hierarchy set up in the federal government to deal with pandemics or these kinds of things. Does that still exist, or is there any truth to the rumor that we got rid of that?
So I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert on this. What I do understand is that over a period of time, that part of the CDC was disbanded to a certain extent. Uh-huh. And certainly there are public health officials in the state and in the city who have expressed concern about that. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm not an expert in the sense that I can't tell you what exactly that impact is. There are some people who feel that the country would be better off with those people in place.
Right.
But, I'm not going to tell you definitively whether that's true or not.
Right. Okay. Well, here's the other thing. Because people around here are going to be worried about this. What are the actual symptoms if somebody has or thinks they have it? What should they be looking for as far as the coronavirus goes?
These are typical flu-like symptoms. So you have respiratory problems. And if someone does indeed have coronavirus, that is the great concern, that there are respiratory problems that lead them to have breathing trouble. It is spread like other viruses where it's airborne.
Right.
And hence the constant refrain, cover your cough, cover your sneeze, because when these minuscule droplets get airborne, if somebody else inhales them, then they get in trouble.
Right.
So the symptoms are similar to the cold or the flu, but the respiratory problems could pose serious health trouble.
Right. Okay. Well, would you happen to know how many people have been quarantined in New York City and on Long Island?
So on Long Island, in Nassau, from what we understand, 83 people have been voluntarily quarantined, 29 in Suffolk. In New York State, there are more than 700 people who are being monitored. And again, in New York State so far, there are no confirmed cases. And as a lot of these tests come back, to date, all of them have been negative. So in New York City, for example, they've done tests on 7 people. They've all been negative. There is an 8th person who traveled from Italy, which is one of the countries that was more recently added to this watch list. And that person's test is still pending. I will say this. I spoke to Erwin Redlener yesterday. He's a doctor. He is the head of the National Center on Disaster Preparedness. He's a guy who focuses on issues just like this.
Right.
And I said to him, basically the questions you're asking me.
Right.
What would you do? And his answer was this. If I had plans as of today, and things are always subject to change, he said if I had plans to travel to Paris or to L.A., I would do it without a doubt. If I had plans to travel to China or to Milan, I wouldn't, because there are outbreaks there. And his answer was basically pay attention, listen to the public health experts. At this point, there is no reason to panic. There's no reason not to go to the theater or the movies or to a sporting event.
Right.
But if we see cases and the numbers start to escalate, and according to Erwin Redlener, if those numbers accelerate quickly, then you have to reassess your thinking. But for now, there is nothing in our area that should make people feel alarmed.
Right. Well, what's interesting in this kind of paradigm is people may not necessarily be worried about getting the coronavirus. What they're worried about is being quarantined. And most people can't afford to just say, I'll stop my life for 2 weeks. And they could
I think that's a really fair point to make. And I think you're right about that. I mean, there are certainly people who are worried about it and getting sick. Yeah. But there are others who say, as you do, what happens if I can't do what I need to do? What happens if my kid's school closes and I need to find a babysitter? And clearly,
yes,
these are issues that are out there that people are thinking about. Those decisions don't seem to be imminent in terms of anything like that happening. But clearly, it's something you probably want to think about and say, okay, can I work from home? Do I have somebody who can watch my kid? And things like that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good opportunity no matter what to, run through that checklist of things. What would happen? I mean, it's like preparing for a fire drill in your house. These viruses, I mean, this isn't going to be the last one that comes down the pike.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
This is something, the American Red Cross talks about all the time, and emergency officials. If you live, along the South Shore or somewhere where there's potential flooding, what do you take with you? What do you need to do? What do you do if you've got 24 hours to get out, 48 hours to get out?
Right.
And people face these things with Superstorm Sandy. They faced it after 9/11 in some neighborhoods.
Yep.
You lived in Lower Manhattan. You were out for weeks. And as you say, if there's fire, what do we do? Where do we meet? Do we have a communication plan? Do we have a third party we each communicate with if we can't talk to each other? What do we bring with us? What do we need? Medication, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And so emergency officials always say that, hurricane season for sure. Have a plan.
Right. Yeah, I know it is a good opportunity for that. I think the thing that is driving this, though, people's decisions to either travel or not, again, like we were saying before, is not getting the virus. It's the man-made repercussions. If you went to Italy, they may quarantine you for 2 weeks, and then when you get to fly back to the States, you may be quarantined again for 2 weeks. Everybody's got their own sets of rules.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is really a fair point to make, and I think if people do have travel plans, especially overseas, what is going on in that country?
Right.
And how quickly can you get yourself out? Because I'm not sure anybody's going to declare a quarantine immediately, but if you go to a place and all of a sudden there are 1, 2, 3 cases, and you think, no big deal, and you turn around and it's 80, 90, 100, the equation changes completely.
Yeah.
So I do think it's a fair point. You want to think about these things before you're traveling overseas, especially.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, are hospitals in our area prepared for this kind of thing? I mean, if it does start to, if the numbers start to ratchet up?
Well, they say they are. That's for sure.
Okay.
And I don't say that in a way to dispute what they say. Clearly, when you actually face a real life situation as opposed to a drill, it's always different.
Right.
But a lot of the hospitals and a lot of the hospital systems claim they have adequate beds to keep people isolated from other places. They say they have stocked up on gowns and masks and things like that.
Right.
And they feel that they are ready. And again, I say what I say because I'm skeptical by nature,
right.
But I have no reason to doubt what they've said about how they prepared and what they've done.
Right, that at least they believe it. Right.
Right. And I have no doubt, that they are prepared. The question always is, we don't know what's out there. We don't know what's coming in a day, a week, a month.
Yep, definitely.
And they don't either. And if they're prepared, I believe them. Mm-hmm. And at some point, we're going to find out whether that's true or not.
Yeah, and we'll
maybe not. We might not even find that out. I don't know.
Yeah, we might find out what the definition of prepared is, depending on where you live.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly right.
Well, I just reminded that folks are listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and we're speaking with Peter Haskell from WCBS Newsradio 880. I really want to thank you, Peter, for spending so much time with us. I listen to your reports on the radio all the time, so for me, it's a thrill just to talk to you.
Well, that's very kind of you. I'm glad you're listening. It was my pleasure to spend some time with you this afternoon.
Well, we thank you very much, and we thank CBS, too, for letting us talk to you. And
you bet.
Hey, wash your hands and stay away from people. What's it, 3 feet, they say?
I'm grabbing my Purell bottle as soon as I hang up the phone. I've got it at the ready. It's always with me.
Well, take care of yourself and stay healthy. Okay.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much. Take care, Peter. Well, that was great. WCBS. I as soon as he got on the phone and started talking, I said,